My name is Ed Accura, and I'm the producer of a short film documentary, a film called Blacks Can't Swim. The aim of the film is to understand why a disproportionate amount of black people and ethnic minorities can't and don't swim. On my journey to find the truth, I have the pleasure of speaking with a playwright who describes herself as an evolving human, mother, writer, and singer. She was shortlisted for the Nick Dark Award for Playwriting in 2018 and was a recipient for the Kate DeWall Scholarship in 2017. Sandra Brown Springer, welcome to In the Deep End with Ed Accura. How you doing?
Hiya, I'm good, thank you.
Good. So, can you swim?
Indeed I can, yes.
So, do you have a story? I'm sure you do.
Okay, yeah. So I swim, I'm a strong swimmer. I can swim, when I go swimming, I routinely do 30 to 40 lengths. Each length is 25 meters. So I swim quite a lot.
So when did you learn how to swim?
Okay, so I learned during school. I remember going with the primary school to Camberwell Baths when I was a little girl, and then again I was lucky enough to go to a secondary school in Lambeth which had its own pool, and so we used to have swimming every week. As a mother, I've taught my children to swim, and I've observed myself from going along with the school to assist, chaperoning, and also from observing when I'm in the pool. I like to watch the children swim. It gives me great pleasure to watch them swimming and playing. And you see, a lot of the children have a fear. They have this very obvious fear of the water, and I guess it can be really overwhelming, if it's not an environment that you're used to, if you've got this huge body of water and your mum's not there, and it depends on the dynamic of your class and your state, your status in the pecking order of the class. All these other things come into play. But I guess I must have had a natural aptitude for it. I must have, because my mother has a phobia. She was born on a Caribbean island, Dominica, and she has a phobia because she witnessed her brother being attacked by a crocodile, in the lake. So she has never swum because of that. She cites that as her reason why, which you can't really argue with. Although I do consistently try to get her in the pool because of all the benefits that are associated with swimming, and she's seen how it has actually changed my life. So my mum was, my dad wasn't really very involved in that, in the parenting side of things. So, it was a school.
Yeah, and I understand exactly what you're saying, because even at my age, when I'm going on holiday, my mum goes, watch the water, stay away from the water. I'm like, Mum, I'm a grown man. Yeah, but don't mess with the water. So you see those phobias. It does pass down. It is passed down the generation. So I get what you're saying. I do get it. Your friends and family, especially your friends from different cultures, and so, do you see a difference in attitude between the black side of your friends, the black and ethnic side of your friends, and the white side of your friends?
Yes, I would say yes. I have, in the early days when I started to swim, people really thought I was mad, because my black and ethnic, my black friends, they would cite hygiene. It's filthy, the pool's really dirty, and the hair thing obviously was a huge.
Yep.
So they really couldn't understand. When I started to swim regularly, which was about 15, 16 years ago, I had dreadlocks, and they were quite long, and people would be amazed that I would go swimming and get my hair wet, and question my sanity as to why I would do that. But for me, it's never been an issue. It's just you get in the pool and you do what you're doing, and then you come out and you have a thorough shower. You shampoo and condition your hair, and it's really not that huge a deal. For me, it wasn't anyway. And nowadays, I swimming has become so much a big part of my life that I don't. The friends that I have now, they're all swimmers. My close friends are all swimmers. I can see that women, black women in particular, have, they're not so sensitive to the whole swimming thing, the water thing now. Hats that you can buy that accommodate long hair, afro type hair. The choices of swimming attire has become more, it's expanded, so there's lots of different things that you can wear if you've got body confidence issues. And so now, whereas when I started, I was often routinely the only black person in the pool. Now it's not like that. When I go swimming, there's usually somebody else of colour. There's usually always another person of colour in the pool.
It's changing, which is a great thing. And that's what this campaign is all about. To encourage us to confront our fears, address the stereotypes, and dispel all those myths that many of us have been hiding behind. It's something that comes up from time to time when I'm speaking to people about swimming. They say, "Oh, it's so expensive." It's this. I mean, what's your view and what's your take on that?
I guess it's about what you think is important, isn't it? Because if you think something's important, you'll find the money for it. We talked about hair and the amount of money that people spend on their hair. People find the money for that. Nails. People find the money for that. I don't even know how much they cost, but I imagine, it's 20, 30 pounds. My swim, I have a swim monthly pass, and it costs me, at the moment, it costs me £35 a month, so I can go and swim whenever I want. But that's just over £1 a day, and for me, that's excellent value for money. If I look at what I get out of it, when I started swimming, because although I learned as a child, it wasn't really part of my life through my late teens and early 20s until I had an injury. I had a really big baby, and my back, not just a baby's fault, I was really, really overweight. Yeah, I was morbidly obese, and I had a really great doctor who advised me on my eating habits. She taught me a lot about nutrition, and she also advised me that the best possible exercise for me in the state that I was in was to swim. And because I was in such a desperate physical state, I was in a lot of pain also, I went straight to the pool. And it really changed my life. There's not only is there the physical benefits of swimming, because, there's no pressure on any of your joints, you're completely weightless in the water, and so there's that. And also it exercises every muscle in your body, swimming. So there's that, and then there's also like the sort of like it's like therapeutic in terms of it's for me, it's kind of a solitary exercise. You can sort of empty your mind and just sort of be one with the water, if that doesn't sound too crazy. For me, it is real therapy, and you can't really put a price on your health. So for me, I think it's great value for money. That's my take on it.
Yeah. So we've covered the life skill element of it. We've covered the physical element on it, and also the recreational, and it has an effect on your mental health as well. So, absolutely. Like you said, there's no excuse not to swim. So from a cultural diversity point of view, it's clear that black people and ethnic minorities are less likely to swim, and as a result, more likely to drown, so to speak. Is there any responsibility that should be taken by the government, the education system, and the media on this?
I do feel like it's good. I mean, in an ideal world, then yes. In an ideal world, I mean, because we do have some media outlets that focus on people of colour, and it would be good if they could take up the cause and sort of bring it to people's attention that this is not just a fad for, I don't know, people that are well off. It's not. It is a real life skill that can save your child's life, save your life. Also, if you're ever in a fix, in this climate of global warming, even if you don't think about going on holidays and things like that, the climate of global warming, you never know when you're going to find yourself in a situation where you're going to need to be able to swim. So it's a life skill, a vital life skill, and I think that it would be good if our media outlets that are tailored to people of colour would take it up and start to try to raise awareness. I think that would be a great idea. I'm not sure how we can get them to do that though.
Me and the team are working on it, and we're going to have to do something because, like I said, Africa has the highest drowning rate, followed by Asia. A black child has a 5.5 times more likely to drown than a white child, which is not good. And there's so many stories you hear about, both around the world, America, the UK, about black children drowning in the pool, by the seaside, that kind of thing. And it's something that we just don't talk about. Something that someone told me, and a few people have told me this, is that they've highlighted that since I brought out the film, since I released the film, it's made more people comfortable, people feel more comfortable talking about it than before. Because before it was, the racial element of it was very strong. So, even though people knew about the issue with our relationship with swimming, it was something you couldn't really talk about, at the risk of offending someone. But it's a black person who's brought out this film. It's a black person who's talking about it, and there's black people in the film talking about their stories and about their personal. So I'm hoping that this will encourage more people, to talk about it and do something about it. So yeah,
great cause. I think you should be commended for doing this. I remember, years ago, I don't know if you remember, there was a swimmer. I can't remember what her name was, a white woman who she said publicly that black people can't swim because our bowls are too dense, something, and she's claimed that she wasn't being racist because her husband was black or something like that. And it's things like that, which, I mean, as I said, I'm a really, really overweight person, and, if I can swim, anybody can swim. It's not about how big you are, it's not about how heavy you are. I mean, look at the ships that weigh how many tons that float on the water. It's a really silly, because everything comes down to how you look at it, your perspective. And I think that's the main problem. If the cost, it depends how if you could say that it's really expensive, but, if you go to McDonald's and you go to the cinema, that's going to cost you the same as it would to take your child to swim, probably more. And, you'd have so much more fun in the pool than I think, personally, than sitting, in front of a screen for 2 hours and then going to fill in your face with junk food. It's so much better for you, and you'd have so much more fun, and your child would actually learn something, So I do really think it's all about mentality, but I guess, like with me, I had a reason, my reason was purely selfish. I wanted to be healthy. And I guess that people can understand that there is a good reason to go to the pool and to learn how to swim, then they will hopefully look at the whole issue a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's good to be selfish. It's good to be it's good to be in a position where you want to save your life. I mean, if that's what it's true though, isn't it? You've only got one life, and you have to be selfish about it. I want to save my life. I want to, if I was in a situation, I want to save my loved one's life. So Sandra, tell us a bit about yourself. I want to hear more about playwriting. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Okay, so I've always liked writing. I've always loved reading. I'm a bit of a bookworm. So yeah, I have a love of words. I did my degree when did I do my degree? 2009, I think I graduated, but I had a small child, and I wanted to go on and do more reading, more in academia, but I felt like I had to be a mum and sort of not to be so selfish and to devote myself to the children. I have a big daughter who, with her partner, they identified later, about 8 years down the line, a scholarship, and they encouraged me to apply for it. That was the Kit Dewar Scholarship for Working Class Writers. Because doing my master's has always been a dream. I really want to do my PhD. I want to lecture. I want to spread my love of words. I want people to understand the benefits of reading and art and how it can enrich your life. So anyway, I applied for the scholarship, and I got it, and I did my master's. And in the first year of my master's, I had a playwriting module with a wonderful lecturer called Colin Teven, I believe that's his name. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And I have never really been to the theatre. I guess I've been there maybe 4 times in my life, and I learned so much about the theatre and playwriting and characterization and all this stuff. So I sat down and I wrote a play. We were all encouraged to write a play. We were told basically that we were going to write a play in 12 weeks, which is what I did. And I wrote a play called Seb's Souls, which was about a black family in Brixton who the patriarch and his wife, they had purchased a property under the arches in the railway, under the railway lines, and it was under threat because the railway is being developed, and it's kind of based on what's actually happening in Brixton at the moment. The whole area is being gentrified, and long-standing residents, long-standing shopkeepers have had to move. And so basically I wrote this play around that, and it's also got lots of issues to do with identity, culture, community, etc. So I finished the play, redrafted it a few times, and then sent it off to this competition. And I was really shocked when it was shortlisted, because, as I've said, I'm a new writer and I have no experience with the theatre. And I was shortlisted with a guy that wrote for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Wow.
I know, and he also wrote books on how to write for theatre. And the woman that won the Nick Stark Award 2017, she's currently writing for Netflix. She couldn't have come to the award because she was on set writing for Netflix and other big things. And so everybody apart from me that was shortlisted have already had plays staged and stuff on the telly, and so it kind of blew my mind a bit. I was a little bit deflated not to have won, but it really did my ego a lot of good being shortlisted amongst these people.
Oh, definitely, well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm currently writing another play and this one is set in a laundrette. I used to work in a laundrette when I was younger, and so it's around identity and but so it's called Washed Out, and it's set in a laundrette, and I'm putting the finishing touches to that, and I'm hoping I can get one of these plays staged in Brixton soon. We have a theatre that's being built down the road, so I'm hoping that I can get one of them staged soon.
When it happens, just please let me know, because I definitely want to see that. Sandra, thank you very, very, very much for taking your time out to come and speak to us in the deep end. And hopefully together we'll be able to change the perception of people and swimming. I think we're about to change a generation. So thank you very much, Sandra. Much appreciated.
It's been my pleasure.